Good afternoon, class. First of all, let me say that your discussion board 3, it is up and graded, so you can check that out. Also, wanted to let you know that I can see that you guys are doing a much better job of trying to italicize your sources, the titles especially of the sources. So great job doing that. Some still are missing it, so make sure you give that special attention. Second thing that I want to refer to and just kind of bring to your attention, something we've talked about and that's in the instructions pretty clearly, but I just want to emphasize it because I find that some of the students are still having a problem with citing 2 sources per reply. Just make sure you realize that both replies need to have 2 scholarly sources. And so just make sure you do that. It's the best way if you get the best possible grade. And we've talked a lot about this. And so, if you don't give this attention, it'll be reflected in the grade. Also, if you guys would please make sure, I know that sometimes, and I hate this, but it's just the nature of the beast. There's a late assignment policy, and with respect to discussion boards, no late discussion boards are accepted. Guys, that's not my policy. That's the Divinity School's policy, but I am held responsible to uphold that particular policy. So just take that into account when you do your discussion boards. Don't wait till Thursday night to do them, because something can happen, and that's just the way it is. NREC can go out, or whatever the case might be. So begin working on them throughout the week. Just because they're due on Thursday at 11:59 p.m. doesn't mean you have to wait till then to get them in. So just make sure you get your work done on time, both with the replies and with the original posts. That's just important, and I want to see you guys get the best possible grade that you can. So just take note of those policies. Also, if something does come up, if there's a death in the family, if you are sick, there are some exceptions to that rule. So, but you have to let me know ahead of time. I can't help you if you let me know afterward, because that's just you've got to let me know ahead of time. So just pay attention to that, please. And this week's a big week. We've got a discussion board 4, plus we have a quiz. So make sure you carve out time to study for the quiz. I think that you guys will do well because you have a better idea what's on the quiz and how it will work. So do a good job studying for the quiz. Make up some ground if you didn't do good last week. Now, with our discussion board questions, there are 4 this week, and so you need to make sure you pay attention to those 4. Only have to do 2 of them, but the one that talks about Paul's background and chronology, issues regarding chronology, you need to be very specific about the details and the data about Paul's background, but also what pieces of data help us to establish Paul's chronology. Also, make sure that you deal with the other parts of the question, especially, not especially, but give thought to what the textbook has to say about mission strategy. A lot of students really don't give that much thought, and so they really often fall short of that. And then how we can utilize those today. So take a look at that. Also, then the second one is a new perspective on Paul. Make sure you know who sparked that controversy or that perspective, and then define what it is. What are the terms that help us understand what specifically this is, and then also note how did it help us? What did it correctly emphasize? And then what are some of its shortcomings? What are some things that that it didn't do, or did it overlook, or whatever the case? You'll see what it is right there. So make sure you pay very close attention to each part of that question. Then the Galatians question is pretty straightforward. You got to do both occasion and purpose. Sometimes students think they're the same. Well, they're not the same. So make sure you write about the occasion, the purpose. but also, every part of that question, the opponents, what were their names, what was the nature of their doctrine, how did they oppose Paul, and so on and so on. Now, the one question that I think a lot of students seem to not do as well on as they can is the one on Galatians, that has the last question that has to do with the northern Galatian theory versus the southern Galatian theory. Now, the reason why students often don't do as well on this question is because they'll do a great job of giving the reasons for why scholars hold to the southern Galatian theory, or why they think that that's the best one, but they fail to neglect to give all the various reasons why scholars in the past have held to the northern Galatian theory. So make sure you give all the data, all the reasons for both, and then state your view and defend it. But defend it, okay? So there you go. I'm excited for you guys. I see great improvement, and for me as an instructor, that's really encouraging. So I know that you guys are working hard. Keep working hard. And just remember, I'm always here to help. But before we leave, one quick note: intertestamental paper, okay, or Second Temple paper. Excuse me, same thing. If I say that, I mean the Second Temple period paper. Get on it, okay? It's going to be here before you know it. So start your research, start taking notes, begin to develop your special section, what you're going to work on in that. And then get to it. I want to see you guys do the best you can, all right? If you have any problems with writing style, all that, take advantage of the online writing center. They will help you, and make sure you look at the proper citation for footnotes and bibliography, because you have both in this paper. All right, guys, listen, have a great week, and I'm here for you. All right, take care.